today will probably be my last day doing the coffee talk. I will have tomorrow off because of my husband's surgery. Hey Donna, hi Jenny again. Hi PK. Bye, hi Mary. We actually had a little snow last night, so the snow plows have just been coming through. Today I think we're going to work on my husband gave me this beautiful mug for hot beverages while for Christmas. So I have some tea today. And since it has a slider on it, I don't have to worry so much about me spilling it all over the place. So I'm thinking we'll dump out the Cozy Chrysanthemum bargain bead box and see what we can come up with that. Though the other option is to work some more on the Deco the Halls by Softflex. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to want to work on, but I'm going to work on the I'm going to work on one or the other of the two. So, you know, guys, we talked about how messy our beading places were the other day. Okay, I'm going to lean a little to this side here, if I can. We're going to turn this just a little bit more. See, there's Bonnie. She's wearing my ghost net necklace that I made with one of the challenges with Randee and Amber. And then beside it there is the little pot sun catcher, which I decided to keep. Now, I never have made a decision if keeping the ghost float or not. If I keep it, it's not probably going to be worn. It's just something fun. But there is one of my neck forms that have a whole bunch of necklaces on it that I've never priced. They're just sitting there. And right beside it is bunches of bags of beads. So there's my mess, or a portion of my mess. So that is just a small portion of my mess because I got a whole mess beside me here as well. And so now I have been pricing the necklace that we had yesterday, made yesterday. So yeah, that's my dinner table. So yeah, that's what I said. Remember when I said, well, I work in that one side of my dining room and I have stuff all over my dining room table that's about unusable. Well, there you go. That's it. So my daughter just got home from work.
It's horrible out there.
Yeah. Icy and stuff.
It's bad.
Yeah. My daughter says the roads are pretty bad out there, which I'm not surprised about because we did have snow yesterday.
It took me 45 minutes to get home.
And it had melted out during the day because we got up to 32. And then it froze, and then we got snow again. So it's not very much snow, but it is icy. So it's pretty nasty out there, according to my daughter. So
thank you, though, for bringing me my.
Yeah, no problem, hon. I don't have a bedroom unless I wanted to use in my own bedroom, and it's not that big. We wouldn't have room. That's true, Mary. Oh, look, there's nothing right here. Let's work here. I got some imitation leather the other day. Let me tell you, real leather smells pretty good. I like the smell of real leather. Imitation leather pretty much stinks. But I was going to use my, what do you call it? Not Cricut, but Sizzix the other day and cut some pieces out from that leather. But I have to find a space to do it. Where it's sitting at, it's in a relatively clear space, but it's also up on top of a shelf that is about this up at my head. So it just doesn't work. But so I'm not sure where I want to put things. So let's turn down and we'll decide what we're going to work on. First, we'll talk about pricing a little bit on how I price things. And but let's turn down and we'll get working on that. Come on, flip. Okay, as you can see, I have a list. What is the little Martian inbox? Martian inbox? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Come on, get to a place where I like you. Martian inbox. Oh, well. No, I'm not sure what you mean. So if you know, that's great. Anyway, this is the pendants pricing. I list everything, what it cost. Oops, I forgot the jump rings. Not a big deal. But this is the price of everything times 2 comes to this plus my hourly wage. And since I never do anything in this, it would come to $72 for just the pendant. The other way to do it is that I times the amount times 4 and I don't add anything more to it. So then it becomes 93. Now the other thing is this is not the final price because if I put this on Etsy, if it's going to cost me to put it there. So it's going to cost 20 cents per listing. And then because I call everything with no postage, I would add some money for postage, usually about $4 or $5, because that's what it would cost me generally for postage for it. And then also there's fees. So I'm going to fold some fees in here. So it would end up being, if I put it on Etsy, it would cost probably about $80. Because I always go with my lower. So that is the price of just the necklace. Now, I did cut some prices here when I did my pricing. And if I had not done that, this would cost more. For instance, my ball spacers, I charged 10 cents for them. Because when I looked at my major package, I got them as a bulk price and they were 10 cents a piece. Whereas if I'd got them separately in just a 10 pack, they would have been $2.50 for the pack of 10. So that would have made them 23 cents a piece. So that was a difference. And when I re-looked for pendants, I did find one that was on sale for $6. So I went with that. Though frankly, that's a sale price. And I probably shouldn't have used the sale price. I probably should have used the regular price, which was $10. So And the jasper and unakite, I sort of figured out I just sort of guesstimated on their price. They probably would have been more than that if I had bought them off the street as opposed to, so there are the things that I fudged on the prices a bit. So I actually could charge more than that, but I'm not going to. This is true. And this is true, PK, that you should price for what it would cost you to replace it. So, right behind me on top of a shelf, right behind me on top of this shelf, little Martin. Oh, that's my Grogu. He's from The Mandalorian. My husband gave him to me for Christmas last year. So if I were to do that, recall that the ball spacers I charged 10 cents because because I got them at bulk price at that. I'm not sure I can do that again. So there were 34 of them. And if I charged the 22 cents, well, 22 and a half, that they would have cost me at basic price, they would have been $6.75 instead of $3.40, or $7.65, I should say. The jasper and the unakite, I have no idea what they should be, and the pendant would have been $9.99, so 10. So we could add another $8.25 to the $23.22 to add these two prices on for not having the sell price. So that would come to $31.47. So then times the 2. Is $62.94. Add my $25 for the hour I worked on it, and it becomes $87.94, which then becomes $88 plus my $8 worth of Etsy fees, which is the fees and the shipping. So now we're talking $96. So now if I was taking it to a craft fair, I would probably charge $90, because even though this is $88, the $90 would be part of the craft fees. And besides that, you're going to have a bag and your time. You've got more time in it then because you're at a craft fair and it costs you for your time. So but I would only add a couple of dollars for that, probably, because, well, that's just the way it is. So that's what this necklace would be. If I put it on Etsy, it's going to be $96 just by itself. And then if I were to sell it from home right now, if I have to ship it, it's going to be $88 plus the shipping fees. If I could just deliver it to somebody, it would be the straight $88. So that's how I do my pricing. So we'll put this aside. We don't need it anymore. And we're going to break out our chrysanthemum here and see what we've got in here. Hey, Becky. Hi, Linda. Oh, thank you, PK. Where did I get the copper ball spacers? I got those from a shop down in Missoula. So I've had other ball spacers, copper ones that were less expensive, but I have never found them in that particular size before. This is a pretty good size ball spacer. It is, does it say? No, it just says copper beads. Now, see, its original price when they put them in was four for $2.25, and then I got found another one package in here that said 10 for $2.25. They'd changed the 4 to 10, so I assumed that it was priced wrong right off the bat, and then they changed the price. But let's see how big these babies are. I think they're probably a 6. No, maybe not. 5. Bet it's a 5. Let's see. Come on, come out of there so I can measure you. It's a 5. I thought it was a little smaller than a 6, but it's still a darn big ball spacer. Most of the ones you get are like 2 or 3 or something like that. Now see, if I were to have used less expensive pieces in it, then the ×4 would have probably been cheaper. If I, like, say I used these little fire polish were 5 cents a piece. If everything in here had been 5 cents a piece, it would have ended up being cheaper going the ×4 route, because that $25 for my hour really would have added to it. So it really depends on what you're using when you do your pricing. Morning, Christine. So there's that. I went to Hobby Lobby last night because I couldn't find my copper ear wires, and I did find some, so I'll probably change those gold out to these, but they didn't have any of my daisy spacers. Really upset me, because I was like, I really wanted my daisy spacers, but that's the way it goes. Can't have everything, I guess. So anyway, we're going to dump out Chrysanthemum here. I haven't really looked at this one much other than when we originally got it, so I'm not even sure what I have in here, to be truthful with you. So let's see, we have Mookite. This is more Mookite, but it's matte rather than, well, these are little more of a holiday thing here. Little, and then the flowers. Some chain. These are not holiday, really. These again are little holiday things. Are these the same thing? Turn over. Huh. I got 2 sets of these, obviously. Well, I don't think we need to make holiday things right now. It's past holiday time. Those are weird. What do we got here? Oh yeah, the ball space, the magnet glass. I really like this color of this red. And I think this is, yeah, it's fossil coral. I could keep these and use them on my other goddess pendant, because it has fossil coral on the bottom. I can't remember what's on top, but it's got fossil coral on the bottom. But I think, oh yeah, my pendant was really blah. It's just about brown, so I wasn't overly impressed with it. You make some earrings. with these. Neither have I, Deborah. But a blah pendant means you can go snazzy on the rest. This is true. This is very true. Though actually I was considering, even though they gave us 2 of these so they could be earrings if I wanted them to be, I could somehow hook this up, maybe with just a jump ring, put it on the top of that. But I don't know. It's sort of overpowering, so I'm not sure I want to do that. I actually, when I first saw these, I thought, ooh, if there's a flat bead in here, this would look really pretty with a bead wire wrapped in the middle here, but I don't think we have any flat beads this time. No, not really. And I'm not sure if I would want to put these on there. So I'm not going to use this pendant. I really don't like it. I mean, I've seen some of the other people that got them that have been posting, and theirs were all colorful and pretty, and I look at mine and go, ugh. Hey, Laverl. Yeah, I considered that, Mary. I just don't know what I want to glue onto it. Yeah, I don't usually do that because, well, I'm not as good at it as Randee is. So, I don't know. I do like these, but I'm not going to use them right now, I don't think, because it's just not talking to me yet. So, I look at things and go, yeah, no. So, unless I get a different pendant out, I don't think we're going to make a necklace because, well, I'm just not feeling a necklace. Though these are cool. I do like these connectors. They would work in a necklace, especially if we put them up like on here, beaded down here, and then put maybe another one down here with something on it. Though I would probably prefer to leave them 2 and 2 so that I could make earrings as well as a necklace. So I could use this like this, but I need a pendant. And dang, I should have looked for one because we got so many of them from Randee the other day. Do they sell well for me? You know, it's funny because when I do shows, I try and figure out what I'm using the most of. And there are times when I sell some necklace, like some shows I'll sell quite a few necklaces but hardly any earrings. And there's times I'll sell earrings but no necklace. Though I did sell a couple of necklaces at my last show. If you'll remember the little gingerbread lady on the leather piece, I did sell that one at my last show. And weirdly enough, a lot of the times when I sell a necklace, it's one of my FOC necklaces. So who knows? But my biggest seller is always my hair barrettes. It's always been that way. Because, well, they're a unique thing. Not many people make hair barrettes, and if they do, they're not as colorful or fancy as mine are. Though, remember how we were talking about sets the other day? When I was doing the horse show I remember I had the wire wrapped labradorite that I put on the wire on the wire wrap before I put chain on it. And it was really pretty and it was sort of expensive. And because that was a purple labradorite. You don't get that many of them. It flashed purple, so it was really gorgeous. And I sold that to a lady while I was there. And she came back the next day and said, did I have any earrings to match? And I didn't. And I thought to myself, dang, it's a pity that she didn't ask me the day before, because I could have made some that night and then brought them. Can I show you one of my hair barrettes? I don't think I have any in the house right now. They're in all my craft stuff. Oh, wait a second. Yes, I do. Just a second. Got to get into my Etsy stuff. Okay. Now this is a set of my alligator clips. They also sell pretty good. And one of the reasons is because they sell them as a pair. And a lot of times moms with 2 little girls will buy the pair so one little girl can have one and the other little girl can have the other one. So that's always a good idea. But since I make these opposites so that they can go in either side of your hair, they're also pretty popular for that reason. So not as popular as my hair barrettes, but popular. Hey, Rosemary. Hi, Annalise. And then this, let's put these babies back in their bag. We don't want to get them mixed up with anything. So I got to go back into my Etsy stuff. And then this one is one of my hair barrettes. This is one of my dragons. And this is a large one. Thank you, Cindy. Where do I get my filigree? You know, that's a good question. I get them from all over the place. A lot of it I get down in Missoula at the Crystal Limit, which is where I got the quartz beads that we used. And though some of it I order on eBay and some of it I order on Etsy. So just wherever I see some, if I see a package of something that looks really cool and I think I can use it in it, I'll grab it up. But in all actuality, I had a piece from see if it's still here beside me here somewhere, from my last FOC bag that I lost and my husband found the other day. And of course I'm not going to find it, but it's a little square metal piece and I'm going to use it to center on my on a hair barrette and put something in the center of it to make it stand out some. But I use anything that I can find that will work. Most of my little brass fittings, like these pieces in the B and this, I order off Etsy. I have a store that I go to, mainly use her. I have 3 of them that I use, but I mainly use this one woman who has lots and lots of different pieces. So how much do I charge for a barrette? That's a good question, because my prices run anywhere from $5 if it's really simple, up to like $30 if it's really elaborate. So again, it depends on what I use to put in it. The brass pieces, which I paint, tend to be a little spendy, but they're worth it because they're so pretty. And then I get a lot of these, like I say, from Crystal Limit. So I specifically go down there to buy these. See, got lots of them. Different pieces that I get down there. So some of them are on sale, but when I do price them, I price them on the price that it would have been if I didn't buy them on sale, because, well, that rule, you got to be able to replace stuff. So there's a lot of, so that's where I get a lot of them. But some of the bigger pieces are from, I order them on eBay or Etsy. Yes, I do have a couple of YouTube videos on the barrettes. They're in my regular videos. I think there's actually probably one of my very first ones was actually on the barrettes. And then, oh, when was it? Not in the summertime. I made one. I had one with 2 barrettes in it because I had a special order with one for with bears on it. So I had found some bears, and so I made 2 different ones, a large one and a medium one, because I wasn't sure which one she would prefer. And they do take 3 or 4 steps to make them because I glue them together with E6000, which I found has been the best. I used to use a different type of glue on them, but after a while, because it dried so hard, they would pop off when you started, opening and closing them a lot. So E6000 dries sort of rubbery, so it works really good. So that's what I use for those. But you have to do a number of steps because first you got to paint the pieces. Then you have to let them dry, take them outside. I do it in the garage, spray a clear coat on them to make sure that paint doesn't come off real easily. It's not supposed to, but precautions. And then you bring them back in. You have to choose what pieces you're going to have put together, and then you bend those pieces to fit them on your blank. Though the alligator clip you don't have to bend because the alligator clip is straight across. But then after you've done that, you generally have to glue it in stages because first you've got your base pieces down. You want to glue those first, and then you go to your pretty pieces. And then after you get the pretty pieces partially dried, if you want to put flat back crystals on it, then you do them. And then they have to dry for 24 hours. So are you leaving us, Christine? Well, bye-bye. Probably should sit this somewhere else so I don't knock it over. But so we have all of these pretty pieces here, and I'm thinking that we're going to turn these into earrings with these down below. I sort of wish these were opposites, but they're not, and they're not two-sided, so I don't think I want that just straight like that, though. So we need to decide what we're gonna. I considered painting these because, hey, it'd be pretty with green paint on these and little red berries. And I may do that with the other set. Hey, Dorothy, how you doing? So if I do this, we want to, I'm thinking the mookaite, because let's face it, that all the colors in this are, you can get in a piece of mookaite here. So we'll cut the mookaite strand. We're making something easy now because we've chatted for half an hour, so. I'm not sure that that's the one I want, though. I think maybe we'll go for these reddish brown ones here. Come on, babies, come out. Bing. So or maybe one of these yellows on top to pull this back up here. And I think that's a simple, nice, simple earring there that works just dandy. I knew when I got these that these little flower pieces were going to turn into earrings, so there we go. We're going to make them look just like that. I like that. Simple, but a long dangle. So now we need to get some wire and stuff out. Let's put the rest of these things away so they're not in my way here while we're working. Because I think this is what we're just going to do with these. And like I say, I might take these corals and find my pendant that I got from the other one with the fossil coral at the bottom. And if I do, it will... I'm going to say I probably will keep the one with fossil coral on the bottom, but we'll put these up out of the way. I like to keep my packaging close by. So for one thing, these I take and say everything is $1. Well, actually nowadays it's more like $1.50 because we got our prices raised. But because we got our prices range, I got to figure out what the packages should cost now a piece, because like I say, I used to, because my price was $17.95 because I've had it for years, and I grandfathered to that price. Since we usually had anywhere from 16 to 17 packages, I just called every package $1 and then just figured out what they'd cost. For instance, there's 4 of these, so they would have been 50 cents. Or not 50 cents, but $0.25 a piece. So these 2 would have been 50 cents. These would have been 50 cents a piece because this package would have been $1. But now that my price has gone up, I'm going to have to refigure about what they'd be. Sorry, I love having my tea close by here. It's good in the mornings. So we're going to get a couple of these lovely pins out. Oh, that one is an eye pin. Interesting. And do my trick of cutting the top off of them. Finding all kinds of eye pins in here all of a sudden. That's weird because I didn't know I had any left. This is a larger diameter than these, so we'll try and find, so they're all the same diameter. And I'm checking for their bend because some of these in here are steel, and so they don't bend very well. And sometimes because they don't bend very well, when I twist them around hard, they break. And let's face it, I don't want broken earring wires. So now I'm going to push them all so that they're all got their heads in the same direction. And I'm going to cut their heads off. Sounds rather violent, doesn't it? Cutting their heads off. Oh my, we don't want to cut. There we go. So now I have 4 3-inch pieces of wire. Oh, by the way, remember how I told you that the earrings from the other day were sliding? I switched the bottom ones to little daisy spacers, and they're much better. Hey, PK. Yeah, paddle pins are hard to bend, and that's because they use a larger diameter of wire for them usually, and a stiffer one, so that when they oh, you guys don't want to bend straight. Come on. Anyway, when they flatten the paddle out, they have more stuff to flatten, because so they use a larger diameter wire for those. I've made paddle pins before. I don't use them often, but I have. And I do have some in my box. I'm sure you just noticed that. I don't usually use this thing for my pins. I usually can fix them with my fingers, but these ones seem to be extra hard, so I decided not to. So, of course, the first thing we want to do is we want to first I'm going to get rid of these heads. I'm going to take and bend these 2 wires, and I'm going to bend them at the same time so I get them at about the same place. Come back here, you. And it doesn't really matter because probably half of it will be cut off anyway, but keep dropping that one out. I want it about right here. And I'm just going to bend them with the pliers. So I do my 90-degree turn. Then I'm going to get my bell making pliers out because I find they work best. Up and over and around. Drop it, bring it over, and leave a gap because you're going to be putting those pieces on. So we'll slide that onto here. There we go. Up, over, round, drop, bring her over, make sure she's lollipopped, and put your piece on. Now see, this one I didn't leave as big a gap, and it doesn't want to go on. There we go. We got her on. So now we'll take our pliers and just make our wrapped loop here. And on these bottom ones, I usually go at least 2 wraps and sometimes 3, depending on if I can get it to wrap that well. And because I did these far down, 3 works perfect. So I'm going to cut it back here because I prefer the cut to be away from where the front. So tuck that in. And it's a little crooked. See how it went a little crooked when I put it in place? I'm just going to take my thumbnail and hold onto it with my fingers and move it a little bit. Now, if you're not comfortable doing it with your nails, you can always use your pliers. But if you're going to use your pliers, you want to make sure, again, to probably use 2 pair so that you can hold it with 1 pair and move it with the second. Okay. See how I really bent that one. So we need to take hold of it, and I'll show you how to do it with the pliers. Just take hold of this part, and you can either now use your thumbnail, or if you think you need another set of pliers, just take your other pair of pliers, put it right there on the wrap, and bring it up. And see, it's pretty well straight now, but not quite. So I'm gonna just, there she goes, pretty much. All right. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So now we're going to put our moo kite on here. Same on this. I find that I like to use my nails mostly, or my fingers, but this does help if they want to be really stubborn. So we want this one to go on like so. See, its hole is going this direction. So we're going to want to wrap opposite to the one down below it. So we will bend these over. Now we're going to do exactly the same as we did for this piece down here, and that is to take our bell making pliers and go up and over. I usually always use the smallest one on my step bell making pliers, and that's just because I like that size of loop. When I'm going into something thick, I will use the next one over it because it makes it slightly bigger. See, this is two-sided, isn't it? Yeah, so it doesn't matter which way I go in. Up and over, and there she goes. Do the same with this one. Now, as you wrap this one, you're going to have to be careful. And I didn't leave a big enough gap, it looks like. So I'm just going to see if I can spread it just a little bit with my nail. There, that worked fine. When you do this, you're going to have to be careful because those little bottom leaves are going to want to get in the way of your wrap. So you're going to have to be careful with that. So we're going to put this on just like normal over the loop and then go up and make our wraps. And this slid, see how that slid down the bar some? I don't like that. So I'm going to take my plier that I'm wrapping with, and I'm going to get underneath that wrap. Then I put my plier up on top of my other one and push it up. Now see how I push that up there? So Rory must have decided he didn't want to sing to us this week. He hasn't been singing. He sang early this morning, but he hasn't been singing this afternoon since then. Come on, tuck, baby. The rest of the way in. Now, since I played with that a lot, it's probably going to be crooked up here. Oh, not too bad. But see, it is crooked to down below, so we will push the bead some so that it straightens. So there is the first one on. And we'll do the second. Grab the loop where the wires come together and then take your second pair of pliers and wrap it. Now, remember how that went down the side on that other one? If you have that problem a lot with yours, take it, and I just did it with this one too, so up it goes. But it's because they're all getting in my way now. You can take your wire, your upper wire, and push it up so it's at an angle going up this way. So when you do that first wrap, it won't go down on the bottom of your piece because it's already wrapped pretty good at the other side. Now, I think it can go around the rest of the way. Oh, stop it. Do you guys hate it as much as I do when your pliers pop off stuff and you get that nasty snapping sound? Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to get this last little bit of tail wrapped around here. Come on, you. There we go. And you're the same with the bulging out just a touch to one side. So there are our two pieces so far. So now we'll have to make the piece for these. Oh, well, hopefully good news, Rosemary. So now we just have this next one here. So we do this exactly the same, except for we have to decide whether we're going to put ear wires on or some little posts. And that decision has to be made pretty darn soon, since after we get this put on, we have to go to our next step. So come on, go on there. There we go. I just put a little gap there so that this would go on easier. Okay, gotta get the wires. Now, what I meant when I said bend it up some was just push this bit up just a little bit. And so when you wrap it, the first wrap will come, usually anyway, right here at the top, as opposed to trying to go down the wires. Oh, come on, you. Oh, never had that happen before. It went in between the pliers. Between the, right in here. So it curled some. This is the front, so we want this around to the other side if possible. I'll cut this a little bit off right here. See, she's crooked a little bit. Now that's what happens when you're working with it, so we'll straighten her up some. And then this is ready for the yellow bead. But we have to decide what kind of a top we're going to put on. If we're going to put on a post or if we're going to put on an ear wire. If we put on, we have to decide now, unless we're just going to jump ring it on, which I don't want to do. So that decision has to be made. Hey, Karen. Okay, bye, Mary. Hope you have a good day. I think, let me see what we've got as far as, I think I had some tiny little gold ones, which would be pretty. And they were, well, these are the round ones. I was thinking I have some teardrop shape ones. Yep. Which would sort of, they go the opposite direction, but I think the tear, come on, come out of there, would look really, it would mimic this tear some, though it's going to be the opposite direction, but I think that will work really nicely. So I am going to use those posts. So on the yellow one goes, and then because the hole is this direction, our wire needs to come this direction. So we'll bend this one over and do the same with this one. So we up and over, bring her around, leave a gap, make sure she's lollipop shaped, and then we're going to feed our ear wire in back, our post in backwards to way our earring is going, because as it comes around the loop we have in here, it will turn itself the proper way. See? So now we need to grab hold of these wires. I'm going to push this wire up, and then we'll wrap this piece. Get this Let's do the back a little more. Clip it off. Straighten this just a hair's breadth. And there's our first earring finished. And we'll do this one exactly the same way. In and around. Bring her over, leave a gap. Feed our ear wire in backwards. Come on, baby. If it was an ear wire, it would go on easier, but this is a post, of course. So now we're going to hold our wires right where they come pull together. And we're going to push them together if they need to be pushed together because they've been spread so that we could get things on. Get out of my way, baby. I realized I hadn't checked to make sure I had it the right way, but I did, thankfully. So now we will cut the last little bit here off. And second earring is done. As long as she looks straight. This is just a hair's breadth crooked, so we will straighten that. There she is. There's our 2 earrings. And we're right at 1 hour. Bye, Donna. So there's a relatively quick pair of earrings since I am going to change these to the kind I prefer. One of these days I'm going to have to decide what to do with all these hip backs I pull off. I have quite a few of them. But here's our earrings. Yes, they are shoulder dusters, see? So let's see if I missed anything. Oh, you're welcome, Donna. Have a nice weekend. So anyway, I haven't put the new back on them, but that's, yeah, they're shoulder dusters. Could have left, if you don't want them that long, you could have left the yellow bead off and just hooked directly to your little post. And also if you used simple loops instead of wrapped loops, it would have been smaller. But I think they turned out cute. So, like I say, there they are. And this one was used from the Cozy Chrysanthemum bargain bead box is where these pieces came from. So simple pair of earrings today after we had a long chat about pricing this morning. You're welcome, you ladies. I'm glad you appreciated it. Randee is supposed to be back Monday for the live sale from what she told me. But she also said that she might take a few more days off after that. So I will need to talk to her, see if she is going to do that. But she probably won't know for sure until she gets home and decides what she wants to do. So, If she does, then I will fill in again for those few days that she takes off just to give herself a break. I'm sure it was a very stressful visit with her. Do long earrings sell better than short earrings? You know, it depends on the day. Sometimes I sell a whole ton of little short ones, but I don't make very many of them. So, because I'm a long earring person, so that makes a difference what you prefer. Yourself is what you're going to make mostly. I did make that little short pair yesterday to match our necklace that we were pricing this morning, which I haven't priced, which probably won't cost very much. And that is one reason why I sell the shorter ones too, because, well, some people like the shorter ones, but they're also usually less expensive because there's less pieces in them. So that's the way that goes. But I have, thank you, Dorothy. I will, even if I don't fill in for Randee next week at all, I will have be on my usual. I've taken to doing lives on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock rather than putting up a video at 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, Mountain Standard Time. For the East Coast, that would be 12 and 11 for Central and 9 a.m. for the West Coast. But thank you, Becky. I am hoping so too. I know the hubby's pretty nervous about it. But they keep telling him it's a relatively simple procedure, but we'll see. But if I do lives, it's going to be that Tuesday at 10 o'clock, and maybe a few other times, but generally that's when I'm going to do it. Thank you, Cindy. Thanks, PK. But yeah, I usually do. Before I started doing this 3 weeks, I started doing for about a month. I did Tuesday lives, which is what I will continue to do after this because they're sort of nice. Though when I first started them, they were a little nerve-wracking because I was like, ooh, I'm not sure about this. I can't edit anything. If I screw up, it's right there. It's sort of like my earrings this Monday when we were fighting with the wire so much. But and then and it's funny because you work on something and you learn what you need to compromise on and such. Like with those earrings, I discovered it was much simpler just to put the 2 little wires in right off the bat and then hook them up to the earrings. Oh, am I wearing? Yeah, I am wearing those today. So so that worked much simpler, which was like, well, darn, should have thought of that before. So live and learn. But it's thanks, Dorothy. Thanks, Rosemary. And I appreciate all of the good wishes from you ladies but it's funny because he says, well, if my surgery is really early in the morning, you could just take me and then come back and do your show and then come back and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that, honey. so we've got our earrings that we made today from Cozy Chrysanthemum. And like I said, I might decide to paint these pieces for whatever I use them for next. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them because, frankly, when I paint them, they're not really going to match the stones really well because I could paint these leaves yellow and orange. I mean, it's for fall colors, so it matches the other stuff. We'll have to just see what I decide to do with them. Or even if I don't paint them. But so that's our day. We're 10 minutes over our hour. I will see you. Well, I won't see you live again probably until next Tuesday when I do my regular 10 a.m. live. Though we will all be seeing Randee on Randee's show on Monday morning, I am sure, because I know I will be. Though sometimes I think I shouldn't because I always give in and buy stuff. And I really don't need anything more. But hey, we do it anyway because hey, they're pretty and we need them. So we'll see you all next week. This has been Rose from Rose and Garden, filling in for Randee Brown of Thunderhorse Descendant for her morning coffee talk. And we will see you next week on Randee's live Sell It Live show. Bye-bye, everybody.